recently finished up my freshman year at Carnegie Mellon University. Since I'm moving out this year, I wanted to film these dorms before I didn't get the chance to. I know how new and confusing everything can be as a first year admitted student, so I really hope you find this video useful. Let's get started. There are 4 main living regions near and on campus: the apartments on 5th, Morewood Avenue / Forbes, Central Campus, and The Hill. I unfortunately do not talk about the apartments in this video, but do know that there are some units available to freshmen. They are extremely nice to live in, as every unit gets their own kitchen and bathroom, but just slightly further from campus, so depending on what you want your first year, just keep that in mind. In this video, I'll use some general terms that I will introduce now. Tepper is the business school, so if you're a business major, you'll spend a lot of time here. Right here is Gates, known as the CS building. Right in front of it is actually the drama building. Here is the arts facilities. This includes CFA, which has a lot of art and music classes, Maggie Mo, which includes architecture and design classes, and Posner and the Hall of Arts, which holds a lot of English and music classes. Finally, this region is the UC, or known as the University Center. It's the core of campus, and it has a lot of facilities such as the main gym, dining options, and mailroom pickup, etc. In this video, I start off at Mudge, the very edge of campus, right at that red pin icon, facing the direction of campus. As I walk down that street, known as Morewood Avenue, I cover the dorms along the street, where I ultimately reach the crosswalk to take me to the center of campus. Then I cover the central campus dorms, where finally, at the end, cover the hill. First up is the Morewood / Forbes area, where Morewood Avenue and Forbes Avenue intersect. There are 4 dorms: E-Tower, Morewood Gardens, Stever, and Mudge. These are the 4 largest dorms on campus. Your chances of meeting people simply due to proximity is the highest here, which can be helpful during your first semester. As you can see on the map, these dorms are extremely close to the Tepper building and Gates. A lot of business and CS majors will choose to live here due to how close it is. Mudge is the old mansion converted into a dorm. They're known for their gorgeous courtyard with a koi fish pond, decently large-sized rooms, and semi-suite bathrooms. Here's Mudge at a glance taken from the website. I'll be talking about these as I show the facilities, so feel free to take a screenshot if you want. Mudge is a private suite style dorm, meaning every 2 rooms share a bathroom. I believe there are some regions of Mudge that are your traditional double dorm with communal bathrooms, correct me if I'm wrong, which is why there are so many room types. Mudge is divided into 3 towers, A, B, and C, each with 3 floors, not including the basement. They offer singles, doubles, triples, and quads. Location-wise, it's a healthy distance away from the UC and Gates, but honestly a bit far from the art facilities. I believe it's a 10+ minute walk. A perk, however, is that Mudge is right next to the 71A bus stop, which is the bus that goes into Shadyside, an area with a lot of restaurants. This is a selling point for location of Mudge. Every single time, I dread walking from the hill to this bus stop. Social / vibe wise, so quick generalization is that dorms with private suite bathrooms are usually less social since people are more isolated from each other. However, despite Mudge being a private suite style, Mudge is known to be pretty social. Talking to my friend in Mudge, she says that Mudge is pretty social partly because of all the open common spaces. For context, a lot of the other suite style dorms don't have this, and also because of its reputation for being social, so perhaps there's some self-selection going on too. Room-wise, Mudge rooms are known to be relatively large, and I've heard that the quads are really big. There are a lot of different styles of Mudge rooms. I believe each tower, ABC, has its own style, so I've linked another Mudge room video if you're interested. They do not have AC, however, which means that the first month of school is quite unbearable. Pittsburgh gets extremely hot and humid during the summer, and Mudge people have to survive off of a lot of fans.
Ever since the day that you went away, you've been sending flowers to me, flowers today, instead of sending flowers.
Next up is Stever. Stever is your traditional first-year dorm with communal bathrooms. At a glance, some pros are that Stever is extremely social, has nice facilities, has AC, and the main con is that it has smaller rooms. I will say the vibes here are very, very green and cactusy, which is the Stever color and mascot. Like all the dorms on the street, it's 2 minutes away from Tepper and really, really close to gates. Social-wise, Stever is known to be extremely social. Reiterating my previous point, dorms with communal bathrooms tend to be more social than those that have private suite bathrooms. Whenever you use your bathrooms or showers, you might bump into someone you know, which is an opportunity to meet and connect with people. I've met some people that are really, really passionate about living in Stever their freshman year. They say they made a lot of close friends and stuff like that. I believe during orientation week, a lot of people from other dorms will also come to Stever since their lounge is very nice for socialization. It's big open space. I would also say that Stever's floors are very compact, and what I mean by this is all the dorms are kind of located in the same area. Their hallway is really, really wide, and if you stand in the middle of it, you can do a 360 and see all the dorms on your floor. And this is different from dorms like Mudge, where they have so many different towers veering off in different directions. Stever is known to have small rooms. First floor has higher ceilings, so it seems like there's more space, but some of the other rooms feel kind of cramped. I will say some of the rooms located on the hill are of similar size of Stever, but Stever rooms for some reason are talked about more. I think it's because width-wise, Stever is very, very thin. There's like not a lot of room between the beds. The walls here are also quite thin, and my friend who lives in Stever mentions noise complaints, such as parties at odd hours, etc. The bathrooms, however, are pretty nice as far as communal bathrooms go, since Stever overall is really, really new. Stever also has AC, which many dorms do not have. Up next are Morewood Gardens and E-Tower. Layout-wise, these two dorms are connected by this breezeway, with Morewood Gardens being the building closest to Stever, and E-Tower being on the very edge, closest to the crosswalk that leads to the center of campus. Both dorms share the same facilities, so you'll be able to access both. I'll be showing you the general facilities that both dorms can access, and then transition into the individual rooms and bathrooms unique to each respective dorm. A note I will mention is that right here, in between the breezeway, is the Underground, a restaurant that is open until really late hours, I believe 1 a.m. While you will not be able to sustain eating here every single day, it is extremely convenient to have such a close dining place nearby, especially one that stays open late. Morewood Gardens and E-Tower are pretty well respected. Some pros are that they are close to the Underground, close to Tepper and Gates, and both have a lot of facilities. So we're actually going to start with Morewood Gardens first. Morewood Gardens is actually both a freshman and upperclassman dorm, meaning that you're technically exposed to people not just in your grade. Because of this, I would say that there's not that strong of a community sense in Morewood Gardens. Rather, it's very much a place where people choose for the higher quality of living. Another reason I think contributes to this is that the hallways here are really thin and windy, and everyone is isolated due to suite-style bathrooms, so no one really roams the halls per se. There are lounges on each floor, which I did not film, but people only work or hang there occasionally. Each floor also happens to be huge. It's not like E-Tower or Stever where there's just one general area where everyone lives. Everyone is just located somewhere within the long maze of each floor. However, that being said, Morewood Gardens generally has a good reputation among all freshman dorms, and I believe in relatively high demand too. It has nice facilities, suite-style bathrooms, etc. Because there's a limited spot for freshmen, I would put this one first if you actually really want it. Room and facility-wise, I think their rooms are on the relatively large size, and their bathrooms are pretty standard for how semi-suite private dorms go. Moving on to E-Tower, I'd say the main differences are that E-Tower is more social and that it has communal bathrooms instead of private. Location-wise, E-Tower is arguably the most convenient place to live on this row. It's the closest dorm to the crosswalk. Some cons include, I believe whether you have AC is a hit or a miss, and the bathrooms are apparently mustier. E-Tower is pretty social. Their hallways are super compact, meaning you can stand in the middle of your floor and see entrances to all the dorms on your floor. This is kind of similar to Stever and different from Gardens. This creates a stronger sense of community, I think. I know a lot of friendships and friend groups that are established within E-Tower. The rooms here are pretty big. As you can see from the video, there's a comfortable amount of space between both sides of the room. I believe this room is slightly wider than some of the other E-Tower dorms, however. Also, like I mentioned before, whether you have AC or not is a hit or miss, and this room does happen to have AC, but plenty do not. E-Tower has 4 floors, specifically 3 to 7, each with its own lounge, but only 4th has a kitchen. Overall, I personally really like E-Tower. I might be biased because I spend a lot of time there, but I think it's very social, it has large rooms, and it's in a convenient location. Their mascot is also a pineapple, which is super cute to me. Next up is the central campus area, consisting of West Wing, Resnick, which is actually an upperclassman dorm, but I included it because it counts as a dining area, and Donner. West Wing is semi-suite, Donner is your traditional communal. These two dorms are right in the middle of campus, and all are really close to the UC, art buildings, and athletic facilities. West Wing is a very recent freshman-only dorm. I believe before the pandemic, it was an upperclassman dorm. West Wing is an extremely high-quality place to live. Each floor has a small amount of traditional semi-suite doubles, but majority of these are individual suites that have 2 to 3 rooms, each equipped with their own lounge/living room situation and bathroom. Location-wise, West Wing is like a 2-minute walk from the UC, right across from Maggie Mo, and a less than 5-minute walk to other locations. It's also right next to the football field, making it convenient to go anywhere. Socially, I don't believe the West Wing community is that tight, however. People don't really intermingle with each other, partly because the lounges in between each suite are so nice, I think, and people have the options to keep to themselves almost. West Wing seems very much like an upperclassman suited dorm. What I mean by this is that there's no community feel as much, and people seem to just want to keep it chill. I also believe, however, since West Wing only became available to freshmen, not many people knew about it when selecting dorms, so there's not really this tradition or history of what it means to live at West Wing, if that makes sense. This is what I mean by the lounge/living room situation. The 3 rooms here, specifically 2 doubles and 1 single, share this common space. I believe everything in this room was provided by the university, including the furniture and the microfridge unit. With regards to the facilities, all of West Wing seems pretty new and clean. There's also a study room that I didn't end up filming, but it's also really nice, kind of similar to Mudge's reading room. But everything downstairs is just really nice. Layout-wise, there are 3 floors, 3, 4, and 5. I believe only 1 room has a kitchen, and the other 2 have lounges instead. Donner is that dorm that looks like a rundown swimming pool. It's very blue, it's always flamed, but nonetheless, it at least has a personality unlike other dorms. It's very social and has a reputation of attracting a lot of people from CFA and athletes due to the proximity to the art buildings and the athletic facilities. Here, I show you how close the buildings are. If you have no reason to ever go to Gates or Tepper and want that traditional first-year communal bathroom dorm experience, I would highly recommend Donner. Some quick pros are that Donner is social, has large rooms. Some cons include that there's no AC, it has questionable bathrooms, it's kind of musty, and it looks like a pool or hospital or whatever. So Donner is, once again, known to be very social. The people it gets is a very mixed bag, if that makes sense. There are some friend groups that I know of within Donner, and anecdotally, when I got COVID, my entire isolation housing floor was just Donner kids who hung out together and also all got COVID. Donner has always given me a bit of chaotic energy in a good way, if that makes sense. There are actually a lot of shared spaces which promote socialization. There are always people in the upper study lounge, and as you can see, out of all the places I filmed so far, Donner has the most people present. This might be a bit biased since I did film this particular dorm at the end of finals week, so people might have been more free. Regardless, despite Donner being hated on a lot, I personally think it gives good vibes. Maybe I feel the need to hype it up a bit. I believe Donner has 4 floors, 1 basement plus 3 upper floors, but Donner doesn't have an elevator, so you're gonna have to climb those stairs every time. Everything after the basement lounge that you've seen in this video so far is located in the basement. The basement sounds kind of scary, but since Donner is kind of located on this hill-like ramp, the floors still do get a bit of light. Also, I think the basement is the guys' floor, so if you're a girl, you don't have to worry about it.
Well, it's not so hard to tell. I don't got the moves, but I'm bobbing to my own beat. I used to think I'd wanna be a bird of paradise, but now I'm happy being just a
But as you can see here, the bathrooms are a slight concern, and apparently the toilets are clogged often and there's never any soap. But if you'd like to meet wonderful people like Lily and Krishna, don't let that stop you. Anyways, like all dorms, there are pros and cons to Donner, so think about what kind of dorm you're looking for.
Not the one line that just won't move. Don't hit the floor.
The Hill is on the other edge of campus, where it has 6 dorms: Scobell, Welch, Henderson, Hamerschlag, Boss, and Mcgill. With the exception of Hamerschlag, all of these dorms are much smaller. Each building has around 3 floors, housing around 60 to 80 people total. Additionally, Welch, Henderson, Boss, and Mcgill are all semi-suite style, meaning they have private bathrooms. The Hill is around an 8-minute walk to Gates and 10 to Tepper. Some people hate the distance and others like the walk. Vibe-wise, the Hill is a much more peaceful place to live. It's away from all the commotion, and I found people here to be more chill. Scobell has traditionally been an all-male dorm, which is why I found it crazy that they now switched it to an all-female dorm. It's originally had a bad rep of being musty and dusty, yeah, but this could change now that it's not a male-only dorm. This isn't the only dorm on the Hill that has changed demographics, so if you're watching this years later, definitely check out the CMU website for the most updated information. Location-wise, Scobell is at the very front of the Hill, which means that it requires the least amount of stairs to climb. It's also right across Donner. Social-wise, there are jokes that the Scobell community is relatively tight, but since this is all vibes based off of the previous demographics, I do not know how the new vibes will pan out. The rooms here are definitely the smallest that I've seen on campus. There's not a lot of open space, and each room feels kind of cramped. I know the basement also doesn't get much light. The bathrooms, however, seem pretty large. I would say that Scobell, actually, compared to other dorms on the Hill that are of a similar size, such as Welch, Henderson, Boss, and Mcgill, I'd say that there's the most amount of open space here. And what I mean by that is that there are lounges on essentially all levels, and there was a relatively large number of people lounging in these areas when I filmed this, so it seems like Scobell does have a potential for a better social reputation. Welch has traditionally been a dorm for quiet living, but now that that label has also been removed, it's hard to say what exactly the vibes of Welch will be. Since Welch has been always quiet living, the vibes are always quiet. No one really used the common spaces. Location-wise, it's sandwiched right between Scobell and Henderson. I will say, although that there's no longer the label of quiet living, looking at their floor plans, they have an immense number of singles available, which is probably why they marketed it as quiet living in the first place. Even half of their semi-suite doubles are separated by a wall in between, essentially making it a single. The dorm that I'll show later is exactly like that. That being said, if you really want a single and reliable quiet place to live, Welch would be a good place for you. If you look at their floor plans, the 2 red circles are the entrances to the semi-suite double. Despite it being a double, there's a wall in the middle of the room with a door that separates the 2 spaces, essentially creating 2 singles. The bathroom is in the middle, so you have to walk through both sets of doors to get there. My friend who lives here in the semi-suite double did choose her roommate though, so it is different from a single. But Welch also does have traditional semi-suite doubles and regular singles, so you could still get a normal room if you want that. Finally, Welch does have AC. Next up is Henderson. This is where I lived my freshman year. Henderson has traditionally been the wellness dorm, but it also looks like that label has been stripped, so this is now just a traditional dorm. Some quick pros is that there are really large bathrooms, there's AC, it's peaceful, and some cons is that it's not as social and it has thin walls. I think these pros and cons can apply to a lot of other places on the Hill, actually. I just wanted to cut in quickly and apologize for the shaky footage. This was the first dorm that I filmed. I was just trying to see what worked. Location-wise, Henderson is the dorm on the furthest edge of campus. There are so many stairs to climb here, and often I would just dread walking here at night. But it does give you a really good workout every single day. Social-wise, everyone here is super peaceful and chill, so it's not really known to be an extremely social dorm. At the same time, I do think parts of my floor were particularly close, especially during my first semester. Once again, this is definitely a dorm where you'd live for the quality of life, more so than experience. But that doesn't mean you cannot be close with your floor, as that was definitely the case for me. I do think the rooms here are actually kind of small. The room they show on the Henderson website was actually my suite mate's room. Their room is pretty long, but there's not that much open space in mine. Mine is honestly like the average size and not that much bigger or maybe the same size as Stever. The other two layouts are even smaller than this. However, the bathroom is huge. Although we have the largest bathroom on the floor, the other two bathroom layouts are also really big. The amount of shelf space we had was absurd, and having this bathroom honestly made life so much easier. Hamerschlag or Schlag is one of the only dorms with communal bathrooms located on the hill, and thus they have more of that traditional first-year experience. They're known to put the sound in front of everything. Their lounge is the schlounge, their roof is the shroof. The reputation is honestly just like average. What I mean by that is it's not the worst, it's not the best, but Schlag itself is big enough where enough people can complain about it. And in contrast, since there's so little people living in Henderson, like not many people talk about that dorm. Some quick pros is that Schlag is actually very social. Cons is that there are smaller rooms and that there's no AC. Vibe-wise, Hamerschlag is one of the only dorms, like including Donner, that when I filmed, there was a lot of people just milling about. There's usually a lot of people hanging out or doing work in the schlounge, and I know some pretty large friend groups and friendships that are formed between Schlag people. I'd say the people that end up here are usually just more go with the flow and chill type. If you want to live on the hill but also want that traditional first-year experience, I would recommend Schlag. The facilities here are pretty standard, but their rooms are relatively small with little natural light. If you look at the windows here, there's only like one of these per room, so yeah. My last point would just be about the showers. I've heard that sometimes the showers just don't have that much hot water, which can be unfortunate at times. Boston and Mcgill are twin dorms located on the left side of the hill. Building-wise, they're identical to each other, so I only filmed Mcgill. Since I don't actually have footage of Boss, I'll just talk about a friend's opinion. Boss is a semi-suite private bathroom dorm that originally had this theme of being multicultural, but from the website it looks like this is no longer the case. He said his favorite thing about Boss was his floor mates since they were all really close, which really shows that every person has a different experience in the dorm they live in. He also said he liked the fact that there was AC plus a private bathroom, although the bathroom did have maintenance issues such as a bad door and bad water pressure. Since Boss and McGill's buildings are older, I think these issues are actually more common. Though finally, since he's an electronic music major that has classes in the art building area, he said getting to his classes was extremely convenient and he could just roll out of bed and just not be late to class. Transitioning to Mcgill. Mcgill was traditionally an all-girls dorm, but that has since changed. The person's room I filmed described Mcgill to be very peaceful and they don't really interact with their floor mates as much. This really works for her as she's the type of person to make her own friends outside the dorms and she really just relies on the dorm as a quality place to live. I think on the hill it's easier to not engage with the floor community as much and just do your own thing. The private bathrooms really just guarantee you can come home on a Friday night and use it peacefully, whereas you might see throw up or just more chaos in the communal ones, mainly during first semester. So while there's less of this general big community feel, since there's less people living here, I do think the connections you form here are more tight-knit and genuine, if that makes sense. A friend I talked to who lived on a separate floor in Mcgill actually said she felt like half of her floor was really close, so that shows that everyone's experiences are different. I actually happened to film Mcgill's largest semi-suite double room, and this is what I mean by filming the largest room if you look at the floor map. The room I circled is the room I filmed. It's slightly wider than some of the other ones on this floor. You're just gonna get really lucky if you get this dorm, but to be honest, looking at the other dorms, they also seem really big comparing like how wide they are on this map. So I'm just gonna conclude that Mcgill rooms are decently sized. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it useful. Before we ended this video, I just wanted to say, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter which dorm you end up in. You're gonna have an amazing experience regardless and meet a lot of cool people on the way. So I hope you have a great first year. Thank you.